Last episode, we saw both our couples kiss lovingly and finally get together. But the directors still need to fill another 5 episodes, so of course, they won't let there be a happy ending that quickly. Hello everyone, welcome back to 10-minute recaps. Today, we'll be watching episode 8 of Business Proposal. After Hari lost control of herself and kissed Tae-moo lovingly, she enjoys the kiss for a while before gaining control of herself and pulling away. She tells him that regardless of his promises, she's still too worried about how society will treat them to date him. Tae-moo is furious that she played with his feelings and can't sleep all night, not knowing that across the city, Hari is in the same situation. The next morning, Hari gets some distraction from her dating problems. She had recorded a YouTube video with Min-woo that went viral. People loved her cute behaviour. At the same time, Tae-moo is spam calling Hari but getting ignored. When he finishes calling Hari, he notices Sung-hoon calling his girlfriend, promising to make it back for dinner. Tae-moo tells Sung-hoon he needs to do something personal and sends Sung-hoon home early. Something that the old Tae-moo would never have done. Slowly but surely, we can see Hari melting this man's heart of stone. Later, Tae-moo finally catches Hari alone. He tells her that she needs to take responsibility for him after that kiss. Hari makes up an excuse that Tae-moo leaned in too close and her lips accidentally touched his. Of course, Tae-moo doesn't accept this and demands that Hari treats him to dinner as an apology. But when Hari gets to the restaurant, she's in for a nasty surprise. The meal costs more than her entire month's salary. She tries to suggest that they go to a different restaurant, but Tae-moo ignores her protests and bluntly says that going to a cheap restaurant wouldn't be a sincere apology. If he doesn't want to pay, she'll have to start dating him. But quickly, Hari casts aside her thoughts about her finances. Tae-moo's luscious lips draw her attention instead, and she can't stop thinking about their kiss. Just before she leaps across the table to kiss him again, Hari rushes to the toilet to stop herself from doing something she'll regret later. When she gets back, she sees Tae-moo playing a romantic song on a piano dedicated to her. Is there anything this man can't do? At the end of the meal, she even gets told that Tae-moo has paid the bill already. Her wallet can breathe a sigh of relief, but Tae-moo tells her that this means she still needs to pay him back something later. While Hari's enjoying her time with Tae-moo, Min-woo's arguing with his girlfriend. She saw comments on the viral YouTube video saying Hari and Min-woo should date, and feels jealous once again. Ever since they got back from the seaside resort, Min-woo's been distant and he cares about Hari more than he should. For some inexplicable reason, she gets angry at Hari rather than a guy who's behaving inappropriately. Sung-hoon and Young-seo's relationship isn't going great either. Tae-moo letting Sung-hoon go home early was a curse in disguise. Young-seo's cooked a loving meal from scratch for Sung-hoon, but she's never cooked in her life and ends up making some terrible food that sends Sung-hoon to throw up. Their ideas of a romantic date are miles apart as well. Sung-hoon drags the out-of-shape Young-seo along with him on a hiking trip. When they finally get to the top, Sung-hoon even mentions that he always comes here with Tae-moo. The barest mention of Tae-moo sets Young-seo off. She feels like every time they talk, Sung-hoon mentions Tae-moo, and every time their private time gets interrupted, it's because of Tae-moo. In Young-seo's eyes, she comes a distant second to Tae-moo for Sung-hoon. The inexperienced Sung-hoon has no idea how to treat his girlfriend and even dares to defend Tae-moo, making Young-seo storm off in anger and injure her foot. Sung-hoon carries her down the mountain, and this romantic gesture makes all of Young-seo's anger dissipate. When your boyfriend treats you like that, no one can stay angry for long. Young-seo and Sung-hoon's relationship is honestly so sweet, I'm going to get diabetes. Meanwhile, Tae-moo meets Hari at an amusement park. Her apology is to spend a day with him enjoying themselves. Hari can't really believe that her apology isn't having to pay for an incredibly expensive meal, but it turns out that Tae-moo used to go to this amusement park when he was young with his parents, and that coming here reminds him of them. Compared to Michelin-starred restaurants, he prefers the cheap food here because of how it makes him feel. Hari is the only person that openly talks to Tae-moo about his parents. Everyone else avoids the topic because they don't want to hurt his feelings, and for that, Tae-moo is incredibly grateful. Halfway through their date, Hari gets some bad news and they have to rush to the hospital. Her dad has fallen ill from overwork. Tae-moo upgrades her dad to a private VIP room, but Hari doesn't want to explain their complicated relationship, so she pretends that Tae-moo is her 40-year-old colleague from work, rather than her boss. Because Hari's parents are in the hospital, Min-woo goes to help out at the shop. He accidentally cuts his finger and goes to Hari's room to look for bandages, but finds the contract relationship between Gurmi and Tae-moo. When he leaves, he runs into the pair and suddenly punches Tae-moo in the face. Before things can escalate any further, a policeman drives past and Hari hurriedly pulls Min-woo away. Min-woo shows Hari her contract and tells her that she should stay away from Tae-moo because she's being taken advantage of. In response, Hari points out that it's none of his business and that he needs to apologize to Tae-moo for punching him. When she gets home, she wants to apologize to Tae-moo and explain that she only pulled Min-woo away because she was worried about the press hearing about Tae-moo being in a fight. But ultimately, she remembers what Min-woo said about their social positions being too far apart and doesn't send the message. Next day, Sung-hoon and Young-seo give each other a goodbye kiss before going to work. This gets seen by Tae-moo, who can't believe that Sung-hoon hid this from him, but before he can do anything about it, another problem appears. Because he told Grandad he broke up with Gurmi, his blind dates are appearing again. This time, it's even Young-seo's cousin! Hari has no idea her man is going on a date, and is having fun playing dodgeball with her colleagues when she hurts her hand. But because the grand prize is a private dinner with Tae-moo, when she hears some girls in the toilet want to take this chance to get close to him, she overcomes her injury and becomes the world champion of dodgeball, successfully winning first place. Unfortunately though, at the prize ceremony, Tae-moo doesn't turn up, and Hari hears that it's because he's gone on a blind date. At this point, Hari can't hide her true feelings from herself anymore. Who cares what society would think? She grabs a taxi and rushes to the restaurant, hoping to stop Tae-moo. When Tae-moo picks up her call, Hari is almost in tears. She doesn't want Tae-moo to go date any other woman. Tae-moo smiles and tells her that he never went to the date. Instead, he's in front of her house waiting to confess to her yet again. This is the best news in the world for Hari, who has the taxi driver turn around and rush home. When they run into a traffic jam, the impatient Hari gets off the taxi and runs, meeting Tae-moo on a beautiful bridge. Tae-moo tells her that if she steps forward, he's never going to let her go again, and the smiling Hari boldly takes that step. They embrace and kiss as two halves in a couple for the first time. Will Hari's worries about their different places in society turn out to be real? If you'd like to find out, don't forget to like and subscribe.